times. This guy is mad. He's not human.
What's up, I Like Scary? We are back. I hope you're all having an awesome day. I'm having an awesome day. It feels great to be a horror fan. So, you guys, I actually just got back in from seeing Insidious, The Red Door. And, man, we have to talk about it, man. This is going to be crazy. But before we get started, definitely smash the like button because it definitely helps. So, how we're going to do this, man, we're going to do spoiler-free in the beginning. And then I will let you guys know once it gets into spoilers territory throughout the video. We're going to do the last part of the video spoilers, so let's get into it. So, spoiler free, get into spoiler free. Insidious The Red Door, I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed it. It was an Insidious movie. If I had to give this a rating, probably like an 8.5 out of 10. I really enjoyed the jump scares. Some of these jump scares in Insidious The Red Door definitely caught me off guard. A lot of things with the lipstick demon they did in a unique way from certain angles that made you feel uncomfortable. Seriously, we all are afraid of the lipstick demon. He's very creepy. Joseph Bashar kills that character. But I love, how they go back to the original with Dalton and Josh, and just having it just a full circle moment with these two, father and son, and even having Renee in there with there's a whole family. And the way this film starts off, it makes you feel the past of Insidious, the legacy, and how the family just pushed through with everything. And a lot of these scenes were very tense. What I mean by tense is surrounding Dalton, man. I'm like, wow, like I'm just on the edge of my seat just following Dalton through this film. And I enjoyed him. I enjoyed him a lot, man. Ty Simpkins as Dalton, he's great. He is Dalton in my eyes. Just seeing him is insane. I really enjoy his character a lot. In this film, he did a great job at having you convinced that a lot of things was going on with him throughout these scenes. And man, it's a scene that is with him, and he has a college student that he's rooming with, which is a female, which in real life you can't do that, so it's kind of weird. Her name was Chris, played by Sinclair Daniels. So her name was Chris, and she was played by Sinclair Daniels, which I loved her character, Chris. She just felt like a real genuine friend, with everything Dalton was going through, and she didn't even know him that long, because she was just there for him through everything. And I really enjoyed those two as a duo. It felt real, authentic, and it's a certain scene that involves these two that leads to this big thing that is fucking crazy. It's unsettling. It kind of leads to a moment that's kind of just, it's like, wow, and just for her to get introduced to us in Insidious The Red Door, it was just kind of like crazy how she grew on me immediately. But it's kind of like, you can see in the trailers, like Patrick Wilson and Dalton are having, like, family problems and stuff from the past and everything. And a lot of these scenes kind of go back to some of the previous Insidiouses, mainly a couple of the first ones. You even get some little cool shots with Lynn Shay in there. You got some Lynn Shay in there, but they had to kind of do it in a unique way, because it was almost like left back footage from Lynn Shay. Very interesting with that. It was cool to see her on the big screen, because I feel like anytime I see Lynn Shay, I think of Insidious. We all do. And it was very cool. It was very cool to kind of see how this film came about. It is definitely, okay, the trailer did not give me the feel that I thought I was going to get. Like, okay, so what the trailer showed, you thought you were going to probably get a whole different movie. So what that tells me is they did a good job with the trailer. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I feel. I feel like once I went in the theater, it was more of like, basically a whole different movie. But it's a good thing, because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, actually. And it was just good. You know, it's a film if you want to go get scared. I definitely recommend, especially if you're an Insidious fan, you follow the storylines. You know, you're a big fan of Dalton and, you know, Ty Simpkins, Patrick Wilson, Josh Lambert. You're going to love it, especially with the lipstick name, a lot of scenes you get with him and in the jump scares. You're going to love Sinclair Daniel. You know, the character Chris, she's amazing, man. The moment I seen her, she gets introduced to Dalton and everything, they come together, very cool. But Dalton has a lot of good scenes in this film, man. This was his film, in my opinion. He carried this film. So, Ty Simpkins, shout out to you, man. You did a great job. But now, if you guys have not seen Insidious, The Red Door, you should probably head out because we're going to get into some spoilers. Spoiler territory is starting in 3, 2, 1. So, you guys, spoilers. Now, let me tell you all, man, I freaking loved Insidious, The Red Door from the beginning, where you kind of get, you know, announced that their grandmother passed and they're, you know, this sad funeral, and they're kind of, you know, remembering her and everything. We find out that Patrick Wilson, Josh Lambert, and Renee actually have a divorce, and it's crazy. You know, the family is separated due to previous you know, activity that happened throughout the Insidious movies. You know, the demon kind of went into Patrick Wilson, and he was chasing the kids and her, trying to hurt them because the demon was in them. The bride in black kind of went into Patrick Wilson, and it was just crazy. And so she kind of just removed herself because she felt there was too much. And so we go through these stages. We found out they kind of go through this hypnosis where they forget about everything. So this whole movie, they're trying to remember what happened. So they don't remember anything that happened in the earlier Insidious movies, which is very crazy. So Patrick Wilson, they're kind of getting reminded through the film, like, bro, I know you. You know, for example, it's a scene where they see Lynn, well, where Patrick Wilson sees Lynn Shade, and it's at the end, actually. And he still is going through it. It kind of is crazy because he's like, you know, I've seen you. You know, she's like, yeah, I know your mother, saying basically she's on the other side, she's dead. But he's like, I've seen, so he's still going through this thing with, like, you know, forgetting things due to the hypnosis. He even seen, you know, the guy who did the hypnosis on him earlier in the movie. He's like, I know you. So he's really like brainwashed at this point. But man, one of my favorite scenes that I'm going to say I have to love is when Dalton kind of gets the demonic thing just goes into him, almost like the lipstick demon went into Dalton. Just seeing Dalton in that room with his eyes lit up like that, and he was going out to Chris, it was scary, man. Dalton was actually scary. He had the black stuff coming out of his mouth, and the way that scene was when she's trying to test out the lights, Chris, Sinclair Daniel, she's trying to test out the lights, and you can see the shape of Dalton like getting darker and darker, and yeah, man, I loved another thing I loved is how Dalton, he told the story through his art. You know, obviously he went to college for art. This is another thing. Him and his dad had a rocky, you know, relationship due to, you know, everything that happened in the past, and kind of, I guess, Patrick Wilson fading off as a father. So, you know how it goes, son and father. But anyways, he's going to college for art and everything, and he's expressing his past. Like, it's almost like his art is helping him with his thoughts. He's seeing a red door, he's drawing it, and we get this crazy jump scare with the lipstick demon, I want to say, kind of swipes at him, and it cuts his hand, and the blood goes on a picture, but it kind of bleeds, and the door is a very interesting scene. But it's crazy. I love the scene too with the frat party, man. That was unexpected, how they were trying to go. You know, Chris was cool. She was just that friend that we all need. She took him to the frat party, like, come on, let's go look through their stuff. And somehow she just left Dalton, and he sees this guy throwing up in the bathroom, and he's thinking like, you know, damn, you okay in there? You're at a frat party, you're throwing up. Find out this guy is in the further. He's in the further. And I liked how they kind of made it to the point. It's so easy to go into the further now. Like, Dalton just gets in a dark spot and he sinks. And the freaking art teacher was weird as hell, man. She just keeps telling these artists to sink. She's doing this countdown from 10, and they're like sinking. But Dalton, you know, you're telling him to sink, he's like going into the further and shit like that. So it was very crazy. It was like a dark art class. I would not want to be in that art class. Let me tell you that. I would not want to be in that art class due to the things she was putting Dalton through and those other artists. It was to the point she made him put all these great pieces of art up, and she told this guy to rip his piece of artwork up because it looked too photoshopped. He's like, I can't rip that up, man. Like, I worked hard on that. She was like, well, leave my class. Like, he left with his portrait or whatever. He's like, fuck this, I'm out, bro. You're ditching my art. So, super cool. A lot of that, you know, stuff that happened in the frat house was scary. Even that part where Chris kind of was hovering over Dalton's body to kind of guard him while he's going into the further, like they sneak back into the frat house. that was crazy because the lipstick demon was strangling her, bro. Like from the further, he was really choking her, and Dalton sees him. They even do the little tiptoe song, give it a little hat tip to the tiptoe, dude. And they actually have like a new creepy song where he's upstairs and he's doing all of this, which was very crazy, man. Kind of see that lipstick demon at a point actually, you know, abducts Dalton and have him chained up, and Patrick Wilson has to come out and basically help him. But Dalton's kind of confused because he's like, bro, I just, you know, kind of seen a flashback, you know, I remember it now, because through the whole film we're getting, you know, Dalton with these stages of drawing this red door, then it's like a person, but you can't put together who it is, and it's actually Patrick Wilson, Josh Lambert, with the hammer, and that scene where he's trying to kill both of his kids because the demon is in him, and it's a big reveal, and Dalton is like, you know, you're trying to kill him, like, are you my dad? Like, what's going on? He's like, brother, you know, the demons you know, abducted me, and, you know, it's dark, and it wasn't me. It wasn't my try. So, you know, that's how their relationship got rocky because of the past, but he helps Dalton out and everything. It was very cool. I actually thought at a point, man, I kind of got teary-eyed. Seriously, I thought my guy Patrick Wilson was going to check out on us. And, you know, obviously, if you're at this part of the video, you've seen it, bro. I thought Patrick Wilson was going to really die, man. Like, when he's leaning on the door and it's like, boom, and he's like, just go, Dalton. But Dalton actually, you know, ends off with him painting over the door with all black, which I thought was a unique way to close it out, because that was more like, you know, yeah, you know, with Dalton painting the door was kind of a full circle moment. You know, just that was like so simple, but it was such a big move to kind of close it. You know, he kept hearing that through the film, you know, close the door, and that was how he closed, and I think that was cool. But it was like a creepy shot of the lipstick demon looking through that hole. He busts through the door. I'm like, whew, it feels like, you know, it could definitely be, you know, another one coming surrounding that issue in the future. But you know, I thought it was a cool little thing where, you know, Patrick Wilson tells Dalton, you know, I made the wall, because, you know, they were going through it. He didn't make his little wall in his dorm. You know, he didn't have a Patrick Wilson on a wall, so finally made it. In the end, it was that cool shot of him walking through the further with his dad, you know, his dad holding him. I think that was very cool, and I loved how they kept paying so much respect to Lynn Shay, and they showed her at the end. She's like, you know, keep long strides, you know, Josh, and just keep pushing, basically, you know, motivational words and stuff, you know, with everything going on. And I really like the Easter eggs. You've seen the ghost hunters and everything pop up here and there. You know, it was very cool, man. It was very cool what they did with this Insidious. By far one of my favorites. It's definitely going to have great rewatch value for me. I definitely want to see it again because it's just that good of a film. How you see Dalton, now adult, and he's in college, and, you know, Patrick Wilson, and man, it was a lot of crazy scenes with him. You know, for example, you know, we find out that Patrick Wilson actually has a dad that was going through the same thing. It's like almost like it was a generational curse, like it was hereditary. It started with Patrick Wilson's mom, and then it kind of went down to him, and then it kind of went down to, you know, his kids. It was like it was getting passed down through generations. And, you know, his dad, he found out, he kept seeing his dad's ghost, which was crazy. His dad kind of was trying to tell him in a way, but he was scared of it because, you know, he didn't know what the hell was going on. But it was just, you know, a lot. You know, he's going through it with his son Dalton, but he's also having, you know, memories thinking about his dad and stuff like that. But in the long run, his dad came through in the end, kind of got him with the light. I think it was a lot of full circle going on with this Insidious. I enjoyed it, man. The jump scares was out of this fucking world. I was nervous, man, through this film, just kind of on my toes, looking at what Patrick Wilson was going through. And then, man, don't get me started on the lipstick demon, how he was popping up. And, you know, we got the thing in the bathroom, the guy throwing up. You got the guy throwing up on Dalton. It was just a lot of jump scares, man. If you've seen Insidious, the Red Door, you guys definitely know what we just came back from watching, because it was a good film. I gotta watch it again. But unfortunately, this is the end of the video. Don't forget to hit me up on my social medias at ILIKESCARY on Instagram, ILIKESCARY _ on TikTok, and Brandon on Facebook, and ILIKESCARY on Twitter. And right there where it says subscribe, next to it, click subscribe to become a member of the Scary family. And also check out Patreon to get exclusive content and benefits in the channel. Let me know in the chat down, let me know down in those comments what you all think about Insidious, the Red Door. But yeah, you guys, I want you to watch some horror movies. Stay scary out there. I love you all. Peace.